everyone. Happy Monday to you. It's Kimberly Beer here with Make It Happen Monday. So I am a huge advocate for education and continuing education. Quite frankly, I'm a little bit of a junkie when it comes to learning. I have the college hours to prove that, by the way. But in my current life, outside of college and outside of a university, I have really embraced online learning. So I do online courses and I take online classes. I subscribe to a bunch of things around social media and marketing because you guys look to me to be the expert of what's new out there in the world. And the way that I keep up on to date on those things is by studying and taking online classes and listening to podcasts, which is the subject of what we are going to be talking about today for Make It Happen Monday. I have 3 podcasts, and I'd like for you to choose just one. Please don't overwhelm yourself with podcasts. I tend to listen to them when I drive, and I drive a lot because I travel a lot. So frankly, I get on a long trip, and I get really what I call hopped up on podcasts. So they get me moving, they get my brain going, and then I have wonderful things to think about to utilize for my clients and also to teach you guys as well, and things that I get to experiment with, figure out. So there's 3 podcasts that I think would be beneficial. One would be beneficial for each member of the audience that listens to Make It Happen Monday. The first one I'd like to talk about is Rick Mulready, who does a podcast called The Art of Paid Traffic. And he does another podcast, which I have not listened to, but I do listen to The Art of Paid Traffic all of the time. The Art of Paid Traffic is about learning how to position your paid marketing online. And it's mostly focused around Facebook because let's face it, Facebook is the big one where paid traffic is concerned. So Rick has some great episodes. There are some episodes that include a case study. And if you have a business close to the case study, those are super beneficial. But Rick is also really good at telling you about what goes on in the Facebook community, like big Facebook ad updates you need to know, episode 155. So there's some great things in here, particularly if you market inside of Facebook, that Rick can help you with. So I recommend that if Facebook marketing is something you really want to get into, I really recommend that you check out Rick's podcast. So it's The Art of Paid Traffic, and it is on iTunes and I believe on Google Play. But you can go to his website, rickmulready.com. You can see how it's spelled right there. All right. The second one I would like for you to check out is something called the Smart Passive Income Podcast. This gentleman is amazing. His name is Pat Flynn, and I really, really love his podcast. It tends to be short, but it is really packed with information. And it is more of a general marketing entrepreneurship type of a podcast than, say, Rick Mulready's, which is really centered on Facebook. So again, Pat Flynn and his podcast, Smart Passive Income. So take a look at that one as well. And this is centered around a lot for online businesses, but I will tell you, even if you don't have an online business, there are some great entrepreneurship information that you can get from this gentleman and this particular podcast. If you are promoting an online business where you're selling your art online, or you're selling some type of a service online, or particularly a course or strategy along those kind of things online, then this podcast is really good because it does talk about that passive income aspect of things. And wouldn't we all like to have more passive income? The final podcast I want to talk about is from the Social Media Examiner, and it's called Social Media Marketing Podcast. And it has a wonderful association with it, as in it has episodes that just touch on everything, from YouTube to Instagram to Facebook ads to content to, it's just really a very general podcast, but the episodes are fun. And this particular podcast it's hosted with Michael Stelzner. I have a terrible time saying his name, don't I? Anyway, Michael talks to you about one thing each week. They give a tool, some type of a marketing tool that marketers can use to better market their business. Kind of like I do, except I show you the tool versus just talk about it. So it's a fun little podcast to listen to. And again, it has really good interviews. It's about 45 minutes and it's just packed with really good information. Now, this particular organization puts on something called the Social Media Marketing World in San Diego. That's meant more for people who are in the profession of social media marketing, but I don't think it ever hurts for clients to be able to listen to what all those possibilities are out there. So if you're looking for something that's just really general inspiration, this is definitely a place that you can go. So you can find them at socialmediaexaminer.com/podcasts. And again, this is social media marketing podcast. So that's what you would want to look up. Social media marketing. You can recognize the fun little icon that he has here. So just to review, if you're wanting to do more with Facebook, I recommend Rick Mulready as a podcast that you can subscribe to and listen to on a regular basis. He's going to talk about very specific Facebook strategies, some of which may be out of your league. I'm going to warn you ahead of time. They get into some really advanced stuff, but knowing that advanced stuff is out there helps you be able to better shape your program now. If you have an online business or you're wanting to learn something more about passive income, then Pat Flynn's Smart Passive Income Black podcast is a really good place for you to go. And if you're wanting just to experiment or listen to a podcast that's more about general social media marketing, then I would recommend the Social Media Examiner's Social Media Marketing Podcast, because it's going to cover a plethora of things and a plethora of subjects over every episode, over every month, so, or 2 months or year. So it's a great show. All three of these are well produced. They're all three packed with a lot of really good information. And all three of them are podcasts that I've been listening to for years. So I can recommend them to you with no reservations that the information that you're going to get here is going to be good food for thought. Is it something that you have to follow? Absolutely not. Because social media marketing, you have to do it where you are and where your customers are right now. Some of the techniques that they're going to talk about, like YouTube remarketing, that's one of the subjects right here from a recent episode with the Social Media Marketing Podcast. That may be something you're not ready for, or you're not even interested in. That's the wonderful thing about podcasts. You can look at the title, you can know what it's about, and you can know if it possibly would fit your business or inspire you. And I just want to encourage you to take a little time to do something for your business and work on your business. This is that part of that proposition of being an entrepreneur where you're working on your business, not necessarily in your business. And even if you're not going to follow the exact items in the particular podcast that they recommend, maybe you can direct or hire a marketing person to help you with those things, or at least give yourself an idea of where you would like to head in the future. All right, go out there and listen to a podcast this week. By the way, in order to do that, I really recommend you use your cell phone, and that you maybe do it while you're doing something else like driving, or you can listen to it while you're multitasking by exercising. Just put your headphones in and listen to this instead of music. That's a lot of the way that I consume it. So it doesn't have to take up any extra hours in your day. And it doesn't have to be something that you maybe pay 100% of attention to. It's something you can do and multitask. So go out and listen to a podcast. Take that time for your business to really concentrate on what it is and be mindful about your marketing. And the really wonderful thing about that is when you become mindful of even just getting some more marketing ideas, even if you don't use those ideas, it's really fun how everything conspires then to help you be more successful. All right, have a great week, and I'll see you next Monday.